Hi, Editing Cara coming to you here to give you an updated account of information related to what's been currently going on and things you can do to help. So over the past, I think it's like almost 2 weeks now, there's been a lot of peaceful protests that have then turned violent because of police action in the US relating to the death of, or the murder really, of George Floyd in the US, who was killed by police, as well as the vast numbers of black lives that have also been lost to police action and racism in general. Not just police, but police are a big deal in this situation. So protests have been happening. There's been some positive change even since I filmed these this video and the other one that will also, these two videos, because I'll probably include the same clip at the start of both. There's been some positive action that's been happening, but there's still a lot to go. The officers that were responsible for killing George Floyd have been charged with murder or second-degree murder and accessory to murder. I'm not super familiar with how the degrees work in the US system, since I don't live in it, but that's better than it was previously. And there's arguments for and against, I believe, arguing for first-degree murder. But there are still plenty of people who have not seen appropriate action based on their deaths, including Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor was killed and shot and killed in her home while she was sleeping by police, and none of her murderers have been charged, as well as so many voices that have been silenced by police action and violence against black people in the American community and abroad. Australia also has a major problem with police action against Indigenous people, and we've even just, since everything's been happening in the US, the media action covering police injustice against Aboriginal people in Australia has been improving. Previously it was very swept under the rug and not talked about, but I've seen, like, just in 2 weeks, like, there's been like 3 or 4 different things hit the news. It's atrocious. And there's been movement here in Australia as well to support Indigenous lives and against police brutality. So I'm going to be linking down below a whole bunch of petitions, places you can, God, the lighting is going in and out, sorry. Petitions, places you can donate. I personally donated to Minnesota Freedom Fund right at the start when they were needing donations. I believe now they've got they're like full up for donations currently, but I also then later donated to a group that will equally divide your donation between a whole bunch of bail funds that are part of, like, that have signed up to be part of this service. Bail funds are really good because your donation not only works right now to get bail to people who are arrested as part of the protests, but also when that bail money is returned after court dates, that can then be used to help someone else down the line. They're a fund that the money comes back and can get used again and again, so I really like bail funds for that. My next lot of donations are going to go to Indigenous Australian resources, which I will link below. There will also be a whole bunch of petitions, as I said, and I will also link some playlists of black creators in our community, which, if you're not already watching their content, you should, and so I'll link that there as well. So carry on with the video. Hi, it's Cara. We're in a slightly different location for my wrap up and haul today. But hi, today we're doing my May book haul. Did I say something in my April book haul about how I thought May's book haul would be pretty short? But then I said, oh no, maybe I'll buy a bunch of middle grade after I've read them and really love them. Well, I was correct. I have a huge stack here. I'm not even gonna try and lift them up for a thumbnail. Maybe I'll do like we'll trick my mom and be like, just these 3 books. Yeah, I have a lot of books here. A lot of them I've already read though, so that's good. Less are going on my TBR than are actually here, but let's go started. And a lot of them I'm going to be reading in June, so that too. First off, we'll just jump into it. We'll talk about the middle grades first. So we have Gargantus by Thomas Taylor. This is the sequel to Malamander. Already read this one in Believeathon. So if you want to find out my feelings about this, you can check out my Believeathon wrap up. This is essentially a series about Herbie Lemon and his best friend Violet Palmer, and they live in Erie-on-Sea and they're solving like nautically mysteries. It's so good. I've already read this, so yes. I also picked up Threads of Magic by Alison Croggan. I don't know too much about this one. This one I haven't read yet. But Alison Croggan has written other stuff that I've heard good things about, and this is her first middle grade maybe. It says Pip has unwittingly broken an ancient spell, and as the heart seeks revenge for all it has suffered, the boy is drawn deeper into the forbidden world of magic. I'm excited for this one, hoping to read it very soon. Another one I've already read, we have Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski. This is about a travel agency with suitcases that you can travel through to go to different worlds. I again talk about this in my Believeathon wrap up, so go check that out if you're interested. And another one I've already read, we have Winterborn Home for Vengeance and Valor by Ali Carter. This is a like heisty mystery spy kind of story. It's like the perfect high society Gallagher Girls Ali Carter blend for middle grade. I have read this already. It was so good. If you are interested, again, go check out my Believeathon wrap up. I picked up A Pinch of Magic and A Sprinkle of Sorcery by Michelle Harrison. I've already read A Pinch of Magic. I'm going to be reading A Sprinkle of Sorcery very, very soon. These are gorgeous editions. They are a like group of sisters dealing with magic and working together, and Pinch of Magic was so wholesome. I'm very excited to read Sprinkle of Sorcery. I also picked up Winterhouse and The Secrets of Winterhouse. I read Winterhouse for Believeathon. This is a puzzle mystery in the veins of, I said this last time and couldn't figure it out in my wrap up. I can't remember. The Green Glass House is one of the, and Pseudonymous Bosch are some of the things that are on the back. They're very puzzly mysteries. I'm definitely keen to pick up The Secrets of Winterhouse very soon, and they are illustrated, so I loved Winterhouse, so we're very excited to pick up book 2. I picked up Tilly and the Book Wanderers and Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales. Again, Tilly and the Book Wanderers I've read. I will be reading Lost Fairy Tales very soon. Tilly and the Book Wanderers is about a girl who can move through books. She can book wander. I'm trying to be so brief in this haul, but I really enjoyed the first one. Again, very excited to pick up book 2, and I love these editions. Yeah, beautiful. And finally, for middle grades, I also picked up The Wizards of Once and Twice Magic. Yeah, which is book 2. I've read Wizards of Once. I'm going to be reading Twice Magic very, very soon. These are thick, but they're like heavily illustrated. Cressida Cowell is the author of How to Train Your Dragon. So if you were wondering where that's familiar from, and these are like witchy, they're wizards and warriors, and they're at war with each other, but there's like more to it than that. It was so, the first one was so good, and it's narrated by David Tennant, the audiobook. So I'm gonna listen along to the audiobook as I read book 2 very soon. Alright, now to not middle grades, which is, if we excluded the middle grades, this would be a perfectly reasonable book haul. First off, we have The Wicker Light by Mary Watson. This was the sequel to The Wren Hunt. My best friend April sent this to me because she didn't have The Wren Hunt but got sent this from the publishers, and she knew I had The Wren Hunt and was interested in reading it, and so it's got a matching cover, and I'll read this after I've read The Wren Hunt. I picked up Wicked As You Wish by Rinch Paco, which again I've already read. This is a fairy tale Arthurian legend in modern day time magic. It's very weird. It's pretty cool. I listened to this on audiobook, but I enjoyed it enough that I would pick up book 2 but want to read it physically. So I got book 1 so we'd have a collection going. You feel? One book I am not sure about, but I saw it in the bookstore, and like it was speaking to me on so many levels. This is The Kingdom of Lies by Nick Martell. It is a debut. It's apparently a very political thriller, political fantasy. It's chunky. I don't know what I'm gonna think about this, but we love a political fantasy from time to time. So I'm definitely, it says some things run in families like magic, betrayal, and murder, and that tagline was what got me for this. So it's about all I know about this, but I'm super excited to read it. Then we have Network Effect by Martha Wells. This is the first full-length novel about Murderbot. So the 5th in the series, but the first full-length novel. It is, what, like 350 pages. I'm super excited to read this. I love the Murderbot series. I don't own the rest physically, but I really want to. They're just so expensive. But I am very excited to get to this soon, because like I love the Murderbot series. It is so good. So yeah, I'm hitting me up with this, with some Murderbot. It's sci-fi, if you couldn't tell by the cover. Murderbot is like a he's meant to be that it's gender neutral. They're meant to be like a protection AI bot thing, but they hacked their own code, and so they're meant to be going around like killing people or whatever, but instead they just like to spend a lot of time watching dramas. It's so funny. Then we have The Deck of Omens by Christine Lynn Herman. This is the sequel to what's called The Devouring Grey. It's a paranormal YA found family like group of teens. I loved book 1. It has mixed reviews, but I personally loved it, so I'm very excited to read this second book. I'm going to be reading it very soon. Another book I'm going to be reading incredibly soon, we have Felix Ever After by Kaysen Calendar. This is a YA contemporary following Felix, who is a trans man or trans boy. He's a kid. And there's a quasi love triangle. It's dealing a lot with transphobia and the intersectionality of being black, queer, and trans. And I'm really, really excited to read this. I'm going to be reading it very, very soon. Also, look how beautiful this cover is. Oh. I did pick up this. I'm nervous. We'll see. I'm gonna try and read it as soon as possible before I lose my nerve. I picked up The Glass Magician by Caroline Stevermer. This is a... What? Oh, I've bent this. This is a short book with 20th, says New York 1905, 20th century magicians, I think it is. The Vanderbilts, the Astors, the Morgans. They're the cream of society and they own the nation on the cusp of a new century. So it's got stage magic. A fledgling magician discovers true magic and a power that might destroy her. That sounds so good. It's a blue under the dust jacket. I'm very excited about this. It's pretty short. It's only like, what? Less than 300 pages. I love the chapter headers. Are they all otters or do they vary? Oh, they vary. Oh, look at that. That's so cute. I'm very excited to try this. It is super short, so I think I could get through it pretty quickly. Oh, and I bought this thinking, wow, that's a gorgeous cover. And then I read the synopsis and was like, wow. I didn't realize this had a skull on it. Can you see that there? Like the teeth. And this is the skull. I did not notice that till I had it physically. Then we have Don't Call the Wolf by Alexandra Ross. This is a new adult Slavic fantasy with dragons and wolves. I don't really know the actual plot. I don't want to know. You know me, I'm really like, I don't want to go into detail for a haul because I don't want to know that much before I read anything. But this is like a 500-page beast of a dragon book. It's called Don't Call the Wolf, but it's a dragon book. And you can see the dragon here. Like, also super shiny. It is also purple under the dust jacket. I'm very excited for this. And finally, my LGBTQ plus reads book of the month. I get one of these every month if you didn't know. It's a Patreon subscription where Dahlia Adler, I think it's just her, but she might have staff on team, I'm not sure, will work with you to pick a book out for you to have every month that's queer. It's great. And I asked her this time, I was like, just pick something that you think is underhyped, that you want more people to read. And she picked out for me The Mermaid, Witch and the Sea, which this cover gives me huge Studio Ghibli vibes. You see, look down here, we have this face, and there's little mermaids and the water, and oh, it's so pretty. This, oh, and that's the back. Yeah. This is a fantasy debut full of stolen memories, illicit mermaid's blood, double agents, and haunting mythical creatures. So we feature a non-binary character, I think. The pirate Florian born Flora. I'm not sure if they're fully, if they're like a trans man or a non-binary character. So I will let you know once I've read it. This is it under the dust jacket. It's not particularly long, 350 pages. It's apparently a romance. I am especially excited for this, and I think it's Japanese American. I think the author is Japanese American, and I'm really excited about how this is going to go. I'm gonna try and read this ASAP. So those are all the books I'm gonna be reading in the month of, wait, no. So those are all the books that I acquired in the month of May. Yeesh, it's a lot, but if you think about how much actually like going on my like long-term TBR, I've got this kind of stacked out of like things I've already read, things I'm planning to read like really soon, and then things that are gonna go like on my TBR shelves. There's not that much going on the shelves, which is good. Most of these I've read already, so, or like almost half I've read already, or will be reading very, very soon. So I'm excited. Thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know if you've read any of these. Don't spoil me, but like tell me what you thought. I would like to know. And otherwise I'll see you soon in another video. Bye.